I never knew how much I didn't want to die until my doctor looked me in the eye and told me, "Akin, your blood pressure has gotten out of hand, and from now on, I can only say you have a 50-50 chance of not developing a stroke." I felt like I got hit by a speeding car while trying to cross the road. My eyes widened and tears quickly soaked my eyes as I heard my doctor saying those words. "If you should develop a stroke this way, I can only give you 2 years before things end the way we don't want." All I could remember about that ugly incident that sent me to the emergency room that sunny Sunday afternoon was that my wife and I wanted to step out in front of the congregation to give our testimony. Halfway to the altar, where the pastor was waiting for our testimony, I noticed each footstep I took was getting harder and my heart was beating unusually fast. Just before we would take the last step to the top of the altar, I fell and made a loud bang that echoed through the silent church. The next thing I remembered after that time is when my doctor called my wife to tell her I have returned to life after being out for 3 days. Then he told me about how I possibly could die if my blood pressure continued this way. Well, I'm happy that's not how my story ended. The Almighty God did His miracle and brought me out of the hospital with minor injuries on my forehead and hands. This incident is what sent me on an incredible journey where I discovered the 2 hidden causes of hypertension no doctor is talking about, and would also lead me to discovering the 2-punch high blood pressure reduction method that safely helped me quickly reverse my blood pressure from 170/124 to 101/75 in only 5 short weeks. During my journey to discovering this 2-punch high blood pressure reduction method, I also discovered some false assumptions about hypertension. After going through my personal journey, I have come to realize these facts. Eating too much salt is not the cause of hypertension. You didn't develop high blood pressure because you are getting old. Smoking and being overweight can only make hypertension worse. They do not cause hypertension. If you stick with me to the end of this video, you will discover the 2 causes of hypertension your doctor is not talking about. You'll be disappointed to find out why too much exercise, extreme diet, and hypertension drugs haven't helped to reverse your hypertension. It doesn't matter how long you've been battling high blood pressure. When you follow the information I'll share with you in the next few minutes, I can guarantee that your doctor will be surprised at how far you have gone in lowering your blood pressure. He simply won't believe how on earth you could lower your blood pressure that fast. The 2-punch high blood pressure reduction method I'm going to share with you today will not only lower your blood pressure, it will literally change every aspect of your life forever. It will put an end to the constant chest pains, inability to sleep, and poor performance you're experiencing currently. It will help you regain your ability to perform on the bed with your woman. It will completely dissolve your risk of developing a heart attack, stroke, and kidney failure, blindness, and all other complications of hypertension. You see, I'm not the only one that has experienced this kind of transformation with the 2-punch high blood pressure reduction method I'll share with you today. Here are the experiences of a few other people who I have shared this information with. Mr. Peter Wandu, a 73-year-old man from Imo State, sent me this message after putting this method into practice. "I stumbled upon your method by pure chance. Within 25 days of following your method, my heart pounding and chest pain stopped and I finally feel normal again. It's like my heart was inflated and this method kinda healed me. Now every time I check, even randomly, my blood pressure is like 115, 60 or 70. My doctor still can't believe how on earth I lowered my high BP this fast." And it's not just Mr. Peter who has experienced a breakthrough following the information I'll share with you in the next few minutes. Mrs. Bakare said she lowered her high blood pressure from 163/131 to 119/79 after only 3 weeks following the 2-punch high blood pressure reduction method. There are other people I'll share their experiences with you in this short presentation. The 2-point high blood pressure reduction method I'm going to share with you is backed by solid research from the top medical institutes in the world. Making this video is more of a personal journey to help as many Nigerian men and women as possibly to safely reverse their hypertension without changing the food they eat, without exercising 5 to 6 times a day only to see a little drop in their high blood pressure, and without spending the kind of money they spend on doctor's visits and fake drugs monthly ever again. If you would love this method, or if you'd love to learn this method and use it to safely and quickly reverse your hypertension like I did and other Nigerians are doing today, keep away all distractions and pay attention to every word in this presentation. I do not know how long this will be up, but I want to help as many people as I can who take action today. Now, before we get started, it's important to tell you who I am and my backstory. My name is Akin Owolabi. I have been an insurance manager since I graduated from the University of Benin years ago. I am married with 3 wonderful kids and a loving wife, and we all live in one of the decent areas here in Lagos State, Nigeria. I was a healthy eater and I exercised every Saturday. All that was about to change when I went for a routine checkup with my doctor, and he told me I had gotten the old age disease called hypertension. He told me it was going to be an easy thing to deal with since I got diagnosed early. I left his place sad and with a list of drugs to start using immediately. Seeing that there was nothing I could do, I started taking my drugs the way he recommended, but instead of feeling any better, I was getting worse. I started having severe headaches every time. It always felt like someone put a heavy load on my chest. I was finding it very difficult to sleep at night, and I was having panic attacks. The next time I visited my doctor to lodge complaints, he told me it was normal and he gave me even more drugs to buy. He also gave me a list of food to stop eating and told me to reduce my salt intake to the bare minimum. I did all of this, but it did not get any better. Nothing worked. Well, I started trying alternative medicine too and took the advice of anyone that said he knows how to reverse hypertension. I took pawpaw leaves, onions soaked in water, moringa seeds, and a whole lot of herbs, hoping my condition would be better. All I got was a reduced blood pressure for a few hours, then it shoots high again. I was spending a whole lot of money and have started suffering from erection problems in the bedroom. And all my doctor could do was increase my dosage or write me a new prescription entirely. My work life was suffering greatly too. I couldn't focus at board meetings. I was too tired to get any work done. It got to a point when I almost got sacked because of my drop in performance. It was after the ugly event that embarrassed me in front of the church I told you about earlier that I got a wake-up call. I could keep on following this path that could lead me to an early grave if I developed complications like stroke, heart attack, and kidney failure, or I could decide right there and then to do something to change my situation. This is the situation you are in right now, if I'm correct. If not, you wouldn't be watching this video. You've probably tried everything people and your doctor recommended without getting any success, and you have realized that something needs to change. Now, let me tell you how I discovered a solution that helped me reverse my hypertension completely. That way, you too can use the same method I used to safely reverse your hypertension too. Towards the end of every year, my company organizes a vacation for families of selected staff. I'm lucky to always make the cut. The year before, my family and I went to London. Before that, we went to Russia. In 2018, India was the location they picked. It was an adventure for my family and I, but I never knew it could be where I would break free from hypertension permanently. I checked in with my doctor before we left and he gave me a new set of drugs to help me manage my blood pressure. I took the drugs and we left Nigeria for India. During our stay in India, we toured villages and cities in India. We went to Mumbai, Delhi, and other places in India. 2 days before 24th of December, that we were scheduled to return back to Nigeria. My family and I were going out as usual to see other places in India, and I forgot to take my drugs along. I got very worried and asked the taximan, who should be in his 70s, to turn around and take us back to our hotel. As we were going back, the taximan started to ask questions. Do you have hypertension? I know someone that can help you reverse your disease if you don't mind. I was upset and just wanted to get out of the car as soon as possible. How could an old man who isn't a doctor or any medical practitioner promise to reverse my blood pressure? I told him not to bother, but my wife was interested in this old man's speech. She got the contact of this person our driver talked about, who lived in a faraway city, and asked that this man drove us to his office. When we got to his office, the man happened to be a doctor who should be above 70 years, and he was very fluent in English. He learned how to speak fluent English while he was studying in the UK. He welcomed us and offered us a seat. He began explanations and told me that he had also suffered from hypertension for more than 20 years of his life. It was until he discovered the 2-punch blood pressure reducing method that he was able to reverse his hypertension. He told me about the causes of hypertension that doctors don't know or won't talk about. Now pay attention here, my friend. Here are the 2 most important factors causing hypertension that doctors do not talk about. 1. Elevated levels of a hormone called norepinephrine. According to him, norepinephrine is a hormone that is responsible for regulating our blood pressure and also helps our body respond to stressful and dangerous situations. You may have heard of its other name, adrenaline. What norepinephrine, also known as adrenaline, does is, when it senses that our body is in an extreme form of danger or any kind of stress, it acts as a support to give us energy to see through the situation. When we are walking, norepinephrine is released in our body to support the physical stress of walking. It is not only when we undergo physical stress that norepinephrine gets released. Same as when we undergo emotional stress. It helps us cope with emotionally draining moments in our lives. You may have probably heard of a family or friend that developed hypertension after the death of someone they loved. Maybe their wife, children, or parents. It happens when the norepinephrine levels in their blood are excessively high for a long period of time. Norepinephrine makes our blood vessels shrink and increases the blood pressure. If this shrinking goes on for too long, blood has a difficult time flowing through the vessels. Blood pressure stays high for long and we eventually get diagnosed with high blood pressure if care is not taken. Norepinephrine can stop blood and nutrients from flowing to the brain, which can cause stroke. It can also cause blood flowing to the eyes, which can cause blindness. It can stop blood from flowing to the penis and it causes erection problems in men. The key information I learned from Dr. Vihan is that abnormally high levels of norepinephrine can cause hypertension. This means that if you can regulate the amount of norepinephrine in your body at any point in time, you will have a healthier blood pressure reading. However, if you want to completely reverse your high blood pressure, it is important that you control villain 2. Now, according to my research and what Dr. Vihan told me, villain 2 is the major reason why hypertension has grown more today than any time since human existence. In fact, the growth of these toxins fit perfectly to the rate at which hypertension has been increasing over the years. It's the major reason why our forefathers lived so long with very little cases of hypertension. And with those little cases, small herbs like pawpaw leaves, moringa seeds, and onions were able to help them. If you resort to using pawpaw leaves, moringa seeds for your BP today, you will only be experiencing fluctuations in your blood pressure, simply because they are not powerful to drive out these toxins from our body. Now you're asking in your mind, what's the second villain and how do we get them? The second villain causing high blood pressure is a group of small particles called PM2.5. Dr. Vihan told me they were very detected first and spoken about by the World Health Organization in 2005. In fact, in their official publication, researchers found out that the amount of PM2.5 in the body is very proportional to how likely one is to develop hypertension. The higher the levels of PM2.5 in your body, the greater your risk of developing hypertension. We get PM 2.5 from almost everywhere around us today. We get PM 2.5 from the exhaust of generators, from vehicles, cooking gas and machineries, and other chemical releases from industries all around. According to the research Dr. Vihan showed me, you can only reduce your intake of PM 2.5 if you relocate to a very small village without any technology, which is quite impossible. This makes perfect sense. During the days of our fathers and grandfathers, they didn't have generators and the likes. The only source of PM 2.5 in their bodies are the ones they get from bush burning and cooking. That's why pawpaw leaves, moringa and other herbs you have tried could help them, but not us. PM 2.5 simply blocks our blood vessels and makes it hard for blood to flow through to where it is needed. The heart pumps harder to counter this. That's the second cause of high blood pressure. With this information, I was convinced that Dr. Vihan could help me. Who wouldn't be? I asked him how he reversed his high blood pressure by regulating norepinephrine and flushing PM 2.5 from his body. He went out and came back with 2 bottles in different colors. One is called ashwagandha and the other was labeled Arjuna, and he began speaking. After a lot of trial and errors, I was able to safely reverse my high blood pressure and those of other people using these 2 natural plants. I turned them into capsule forms to help people not have issues with the required quantity to take, he told me. Take 1 pill from each bottle in the morning and at night. Get back to me in a month's time to tell me about your result. I thanked him and offered to pay. He didn't accept it from me, but I made donations to an orphanage in his name. 2 days after I met Dr. Vihan, we returned to Nigeria and I started taking Arjuna Plus the way he recommended. For the first 2 weeks, there was no observable change in my blood pressure. I was about giving up, but the magic happened the 3rd week. My blood pressure dropped from 172.99 to 121.87. On top of that, I had an erection and had a mind-blowing sex with the love of my life that night. You need to see how happy I was. By the end of my 4th week using Arjuna Plus and ashwagandha once a day, my doctor told me my blood pressure was nearing normal and very soon I might stop taking my high blood pressure drugs altogether. You needed to see the happiness in my heart as my doctor told me while reading my BB readings. He just couldn't believe how on earth it was possible to lower blood pressure that fast. I got back to Dr. Vihan and told him my experience. He was happy for me and boldly said that my blood pressure should be normal in the next 2 months. I ordered some more bottles of ashwagandha and Arjuna Plus from him, and I got them a few weeks afterwards. While I was still taking Arjuna Plus and ashwagandha, I thought my high blood pressure would come back just like the supplements I have used did, but it never came back. My blood pressure dropped from 170/121 to 101/87 in just 3 months. I restored my erection and dominated the bedroom again. Since I got my blood pressure under regulation, my performance at my job has greatly improved. I even got a promotion because of the speed at which I hit my targets. Since then, I started sharing my story with anyone who cared to listen, and they are getting similar results with Arjuna Plus and ashwagandha too. I lowered my blood pressure from 165/90 to 110/76 in just 2 months, Mrs. Rebecca Augustuk says, a 57-year-old woman. Arjuna Plus and ashwagandha are helping me rebuild my relationship with my wife again. Thank you, Akin. Mr. Badajoko from Kwara State, a 61-year-old man. Now, due to the number of times I have helped people with chronic and mild cases of hypertension, order Arjuna Plus and ashwagandha, Dr. Vihan asked if I would be willing to become his representative here in Nigeria. I thought about this for a while, but with the experience I had with Arjuna Plus and ashwagandha, and the result of other people I have told them about, I agreed. It will be me playing my own part in helping to eradicate hypertension that currently affects millions of Nigerians. One that doctors agree is a leading cause of death, but don't have a solution to. That's why I'm sharing this information with you today. Before we proceed, answer this question honestly, my friend. Are you honestly tired of spending a lot of money on high blood pressure without getting results? Are you willing to commit a few minutes every day to take 1 pill of ashwagandha and Arjuna Plus each in the morning and at night? Can you remain calm for 3 months, which I believe is all it takes to completely reverse your high blood pressure? If you can't do any of this, then it's an honor sharing my story with you today. This is probably not for you. I wish you best of luck because there's no need to watch this video any further. But if you are willing to commit to taking Adrenal Plus and ashwagandha over the next 3 months to safely reverse your high blood pressure, regain your erection, and put an end to the constant chest pains, headaches, sleeplessness, tiredness, and other horrible side effects of hypertension, I am going to make you an offer right now. An offer to try out Adrenal Plus and ashwagandha without risking anything today. Being honest upfront, I cannot guarantee that you'll be able to grab this offer because I have limited supply of Adrenal Plus and ashwagandha. Remember what I told you earlier. The real causes of hypertension are elevated levels of norepinephrine and the amount of PM 2.5 that makes it difficult for blood to flow freely in our bodies. Ashwagandha has been proven in various researches to help our body fight off stress by regulating the epinephrine levels in our body. Science supports the use of ashwagandha for stress management. One of those studies was conducted a couple of years ago by scientists at the Indian Council for Medical Research. They decided to test whether ashwagandha helps reduce stress levels and blood pressure. They gathered 64 men and women with chronic stress levels and high blood pressure. They divided each group into 2 smaller groups of 32 people each. These researchers gave pure ashwagandha extract to the first group and the other group took just normal blood pressure pills. After 10 days of close studies, these researchers noticed that the group of people that took ashwagandha showed a greater decrease in their diastolic and systolic blood pressure. This group also said that they felt happier, slept better, and felt more active. But the other group who were given normal hypertension drugs reported no difference. It's important to know that ashwagandha does not only help conquer stress and regulate norepinephrine, it's also been proven to reduce blood sugar level, thereby lowering your risk of diabetes, reduce symptoms of stress and anxiety, boost and increase strength in men to enable you pound your woman the way she would never forget. Contain substances that prevent cancer, which is one of the top killer diseases in the world. Ashwagandha is simply very powerful. Now, Adrenal Plus, which is the other punch of this solution, helps us to drive PM 2.5 out of the body. Adrenal, which is the plant from which Adrenal Plus is made, contains micronutrients that strengthen the immune system and makes it strong enough to flush out PM 2.5 from the body. Now, what are the scientific studies supporting Adrenal Plus? You may ask. Well, here are a few of them. Adrenal contains healthy phytosterols in a random experiment involving 89 people with hypertension. The researchers found that administration of phytosterols caused the systolic blood pressure to reduce by 15 mmHg in everyone, and the diastolic blood pressure reduced significantly too. Adrenal also contains calcium, magnesium, zinc, and copper that have all been proven to greatly lower blood pressure. You can see for yourself that there is nothing remotely close to Adrenal Plus and ashwagandha out there today. They are the only 2 punches you need that can help reverse high blood pressure permanently, because they simply attack the root cause of high blood pressure, something no hypertension drug on the internet can do for you. You might be thinking in your mind now, why aren't doctors recommending Adrenal and ashwagandha to hypertensive patients like us out there? I honestly thought about that too. But when I realized that hypertension has been labeled as an incurable disease and one that will cost you a fortune to manage, why would any big pharmaceutical company be interested in selling anything that can help you reverse the disease? Instead of recommending these life-saving herbs, they can make more money selling drugs that can help you mask your pains. Drugs that help you with your erection, drugs that helps you with the pains, drugs that help you with inability to sleep. That's a whole lot of money, you agree, my friend. No wonder hypertension is worth a massive $6 billion a year. They can't make this kind of money by recommending herbs that can't help you reverse your disease like the ones I told you about today. And since these people have never been faced with life or death situations of hypertension, they don't know what it feels like for us who have to watch everything we do because of high blood pressure. That's one of the reasons why it's very important for me to share this information with you. I don't care about the consequences. You should know that Dr. Vihan only has a small team, and he screens for the best supply of Adjuna there is on the market. Most Adjuna plants have been genetically modified by big pharmaceutical industries so that researchers can prove that they don't work. You're asking what a genetically modified plant means. Well, a genetically modified means they have changed the composition of Adjuna plant to make them grow faster and with less effectiveness. The Adjuna used in the researches I showed you have not been modified in any form. That's the kind of Adjuna Dr. Vihan uses in making Adjuna Plus. It explains why he can produce only a few batches of Adjuna Plus and ashwagandha every month. He is using a large percentage of his profit from the sales of ashwagandha and Adjuna Plus to help orphanage homes in India. It's his goal to help as many Indian children as possible, not build mansions that owners of big pharmaceutical companies own. Before I tell you how to try out ashwagandha and Adjuna Plus for yourself today, I shall tell you something extra I've made for you today. I want to make Adjuna Plus and ashwagandha the best and last thing you try for your high blood pressure. That's why I'm going to send you a free eating dossier. This is a compilation of Nigerian foods that people have shared my story with and myself have used to speed up our blood pressure lowering goal. Without the guide, you'll still be able to reverse your blood pressure, but with this guide, you'll lower your blood pressure even faster, which is what everyone wants. Now to the most important question. How much will you invest to try out Adjuna Plus and ashwagandha if you act today? Truth be told, the price of a month's supply of Adjuna Plus and ashwagandha may be higher than the drugs your doctor recommends, but if you consider the fact that Adjuna and ashwagandha are the only proven remedies to hypertension, and the fact that you can reverse your hypertension in only 3 months, and the amount required to import them to Nigeria, you agree that paying a huge sum of money for them is worth every penny. But like I said before, neither Dr. Vihan nor I have any intention of making life-changing profit from ripping off people who were once like me. Most of the people I have shared this with were able to safely reverse their high blood pressure within 3 months, and I believe yours is possible too. Select the package that suits your budget below. You'll get ashwagandha, Adjuna Plus and a free eating dossier all together. Adjuna Plus and ashwagandha will be shipped to you wherever you are in Nigeria for free. Now, I understand that you don't completely believe everything I've told you today. I wouldn't too, but I'm going to stand by my word. I am very confident in these 2 formulas that I'm also going to send you a free digital blood pressure checker to see how you're progressing in your journey. Take your blood pressure reading every day over the next 3 months. If you do not see any significant improvement in your blood pressure, you can simply get in touch with me and get 100% refunded anytime within 6 months of your order. You see that you have nothing to lose by investing in your health today. Simply fill the form below and you get Adjuna Plus, ashwagandha, the eating dossier and a free digital blood pressure checker with your investment today. Now here's the full ordering instructions. Select the package that suits your budget, fill in your contact details in the box that shows up. Expect a call from me or my assistant. We will review your order and ask for a deposit of 1,000 naira to confirm your order. Now don't worry, I'm asking for a token of 1,000 to filter out people like you who are serious about lowering their blood pressure. You see, in the past I've had a lot of people order and not show up at the delivery point to receive their order. They took advantage of the free shipping available and my pay on delivery mode. That's why I'm asking for a deposit of 1,000 naira only. You will not pay anything except 1,000 naira until you have received your supply of Adjuna Plus and ashwagandha. When you receive your order, simply deduct 1,000 naira from the amount you are to pay. For example, if you order the 1-month plan, after confirming your order with the initial 1,000 naira, you only get to pay 43,500 when you receive your order. Now I understand your concerns and that is why I want to make this as risk-free for you as possible. Select the package that matches your budget below and get started on your journey to reversing your high blood pressure. Even when your doctor says there's nothing you can do, even when you've tried almost everything like me and several other people, Adjuna Plus and ashwagandha are the only 2 punches you need to restore your health blood pressure back. You regain your dominance in bed. Your business will start to flourish again since you no longer have to battle headaches, chest pains, and even sleeplessness. All of those things will become a thing of the past. You will live your life long, peaceful, knowing that you don't have to worry about slipping into a fatal stroke, heart attack, or even kidney failure. Listen, nothing can be compared to the joy of growing up with your children, your spouse, and seeing your grandchildren too. My friend, that's the opportunity you have ahead of you today. Click the package that suits your budget below. Remember, you have nothing to lose about the decision you make today. Now, you have a full 6 months to completely test drive Adrenal Plus and ashwagandha. If it doesn't regulate your blood pressure, you get your money back without any troubles. One more thing, just before I finish this presentation, it is important that I answer a very important question I get a lot. People often ask me, how long will it take me to reverse my high blood pressure, Akin? How long? Well, I honestly wish I had a straightforward answer to that question. Time to experience complete recovery from high blood pressure varies from person to person. But however, about more than 9 in 10 people who have tried Adrenal Plus and ashwagandha with my recommendation, they all say they were able to reverse their high blood pressure within 3 months. Well, for you, it may take you a lot less than that or a bit more. But here's the unchangeable fact. You have 6 months to test drive Adrenal Plus and ashwagandha. If you do not see a significant improvement in your blood pressure and your health in general, simply contact me for a refund and I will issue you a complete refund, no questions asked. Plus, you can get to keep the eating dossier and the standard blood pressure checker I'm going to send to you for free. I want you to take it as a labor of love from me to you. I have been through the hell of hypertension, my friend. I really know how it feels to be healthy again after years of suffering and trouble. You definitely want this kind of healthy feeling for yourself too. But you have to hurry if you want to get your hands on them today. Because like I told you earlier, supplies are extremely limited. Whoa, this is the end of the road, my friend. Now you have 3 clear paths ahead of you. Number 1, you either ignore everything you've learned today and continue with what you've been using for years. The drugs, extreme diet, hard exercises that are not helping your condition. But the question is, where will you be a few years from now? Well, I believe you can answer that in your mind. The second path you can take today is take everything you've learned about PM 2.5 and norepinephrine. Look for natural ways to control them, and I wish you good luck with identifying quality adrenal and ashwagandha out there. Well, I'm sure if you look hard enough, you may find one. But do you really have that amount of time to waste? And lastly, you can take my hand and try what more than 1,700 Nigerians have used to reverse their high blood pressure completely. That even comes with a free blood pressure checker to prove to you if it is actually helping your blood pressure numbers, and an unconditional guarantee that you get paid every penny back in the case that it doesn't work, even when you've used up your supply. Something that your doctor will never guarantee. He just writes you a drug without any kind of money back guarantee. He puts all the risk on you. Decision is yours to make today, my friend. You have been following your doctor's advice for years. But if those advice were truly working, you wouldn't have watched this video up to this point. But whatever you decide, I wish you well. For a recap, here's what you get with your order today. You get Adrenal Plus for regulating norepinephrine. You get ashwagandha to combat stress and deal with PM 2.5. You get a free blood pressure checker and also a dossier that shows you Nigerian foods that can help you lower your blood pressure very fast. The big question now is, will you allow me to help you? Well, I feel it's important to tell you what other people are saying. You see, Mr. Tijani Balogun couldn't hide his joy when his doctor said, "Mr. Tijani, you are no longer hypertensive." He wrote to me and said, "Mr. Akin, Adrenal Plus saved my life from hypertension. God bless you." See, he wasn't just the only one. Mrs. Ogochukwu from Imo State said this combo did not only help her lower her blood pressure. She said, "I feel like a new person again. I stopped exercising so hard and my energy level is rising every day." All it takes to enjoy the kind of life these people are living is to fill the form below. Remember, your order is completely backed by 6 months guaranteed. If it doesn't work, contact me and I'll send you every naira, every kobo back without any questions. And just before I leave you, one of the amazing testimonials I got was from 68-year-old Mr. Benedict. He said, "When I told my doctor I wanted to try out your solution, Akin, he refused and said it's dangerous. But seeing that I had nothing more to lose, I went ahead and ordered your product anyway. Today, my blood pressure is usually reading 120/78. My blood pressure is never out of control again. Mr. Akin, God bless you." Fill the form below to get your own supply of Adrenal Plus, Ashwagandha, the eating dossier, and your digital blood pressure checker. Your testimony is next.